You're making the same mistakes I used to make. They are so small, that's why they are very easy to miss. And understand they are also very easy to fix. Your life is the sum of all decisions that you make. And so I want to acknowledge your decisions to listen to today's video that could empower you to start feel incredible in correcting your mistakes. I just want to underscore how easy it would be to take action and try what I am going to teach you today. Today's video is on the group theory and this is related to MFCS, DMS and DMGT and also for the BSc students. There are two problems which are very important. See here, show that the set of the cube roots of unity form a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. See here, the set is given as set of cube roots of unity and we have to show that this is an abelian group with respect to the binary operator, that is multiplication. And the second question here is the set of fourth roots of unity forms a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. Here the set is given as the fourth root of unity and here the set is given as a cube root of unity, and we have to show these sets are abelian group with respect to multiplication as a binary operator. So these two are so important and so simple, and let's get started to solve the first question, that is show that the cube roots of unity form a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. See here, whenever there is a cube for a certain element, so the result should be unity. So that is nothing but the cube root of unity. See here, the cube root of unity means unity is 1 will be the answer when you keep cube as a power. See here, omega cube is equal to 1. And I am taking the set here. The set of cube roots of unity is g is equal to 1 omega square. So if you put cube for 1, so 1 cube is 1, omega cube is 1, and omega square whole cube is also 1. So these elements I have taken in a set, and g is the cube root of unity, and we have to show that this set is an abelian group. In order to show it's an abelian group, we have to show 5 properties. One is closure, associativity, identity, inverse and commutative law. So if it holds all the 5 properties, then we say that it is a commutative group or an abelian group. Now I am going to show all the 5 properties. The first one is the closure law. See, the composition table under multiplication is as shown below. See here, we have to draw the composition table. See, the set here is 1 omega square. Here also 1 omega square. Multiplication is the binary operator. And therefore, if I multiply, 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into omega is omega. And next one, 1 into omega square is omega square. So, if I multiply with omega, see here, omega into 1 is omega. This is omega square and this value is omega cube. So, as you know that omega cube value is 1. And next one, omega square. This is omega square, this is omega cube which is equal to 1, and this is omega power 4. So which can be written as omega cube into omega, which is 1 into omega, which is equal to omega. So this is omega. So these are all the entries. So if I take two elements and again that element belongs to the set G. So if I take any two elements which are multiplied on all these entries belongs to the set G. So from the table we observe that all the entries, see here, all the entries in the table belong to the set G and therefore G is closed under multiplication. Clear? And next one is associative law. Here, if you observe this one, the cube roots of unity are complex numbers. These are all the complex numbers. And we know that the complex numbers satisfy associative law. And therefore, we say that G is associative. So, I have shown closure property and associative property. And the next one is identity law. So, for an identity law here, the identity element of G is 1 with respect to multiplication. 1 will be the identity element for multiplication and 0 will be the identity element with respect to addition. See here, 1 is an identity element and therefore G has an identity element. The third property is also satisfied. And next one, for inverse law, what we have to do? So here is the composition table. So all the entries in the table are the elements of group G, and therefore we have to select this one. So which one we have to select? We have to select the inverse element of each and every element. So what is the identity element here? So the identity element here is 1. So if you observe this one, omega into 1 is omega, and next one, this is omega square, and this one is omega cube. Omega cube value is 1. And here if you see, 1 into 1 is 1. So here, if you observe this one, what is the inverse of 1? Inverse of 1 is again 1 from the table. So we have to see for 1, the inverse element, we have to go with the identity element 1, and we have to go with the straight one, that is 1 here. And next one, for omega, what will be the inverse element? So we have to go with the identity element. 1 is an identity element here, and we have to go up here, omega square. So here the identity element for omega is omega square. So if I multiply, 1 will be the answer. And next one, if you see here, we have to go with the identity element for omega square. 1 is the identity element, and what is the element here? Omega. So for omega square, so omega is an inverse element. For finding the inverse element, we have to go to the composition table, and we have to plot all the identity elements. So here for 1, the inverse element will be 1. For omega, the inverse element will be omega square. For omega square, if you go with an identity element here, omega is a inverse element. Inverse element. Therefore, each element of G has an inverse in G. Therefore, every element in G has an inverse element. Therefore, G satisfies the inverse law. Identity element is 1, and inverse element are, these are the inverse elements. So, this is the inverse element, and therefore, next one is commutative law. Commutative law is, so we have to draw this composition table once again. So, we have to multiply. 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into omega is omega, omega square, this is omega, omega square, and this is omega cube 1, and this is omega square. If you observe this one, see here, the elements of 1, 2, 3 rows. So here this is 1, 2, 3 rows. The elements in 1, 2, 3 rows are same as the elements in 1, 2, 3 columns. See here, this is 1 omega omega square. Here also this is 1 omega omega square. And next thing here is, this is omega square 1, this is also omega square 1. So the elements in rows are, the elements in rows are equals to elements in columns, and therefore we say that it satisfies the commutative law. A into B is equal to B into A, and therefore G is a commutative law, and we say that this is an abelian group. This is an abelian group. Is it not so easy here? The first thing here is, we have to take a certain element, that whichever we take the cube as a unit, cube as a par, the unity will be the answer. See here, for each and every element, if you take the cube as a par, unity will be the answer. 1 cube is 1, omega cube is 1, and omega square whole cube is also 1. So this is the set we have to frame for the cube roots of unity. And this is a finite set, and for closure law we have to draw the composition table, and from the table we observe that all the entries in the table are the elements in the set G, and therefore we say that G is closed under multiplication. For associative law, the cube roots of unity are the complex numbers. See here, everybody knows that complex numbers satisfies associative law, and therefore G is associativity. And next one is identity law. So we know that with respect to multiplication, 1 will be usually the identity element. And next one, for inverse element, so we have to draw the composition table, and we have to plot the identity elements. And see here, the inverse of 1 is 1, the inverse of omega is omega square, the inverse of omega square is omega. So for each and every element, G has an inverse element. Therefore, G satisfies the inverse law. And next one is composition table. So from the composition table, we observe that the rows, the elements in the rows are equals the elements in the column, and therefore the elements in the rows equals the elements in the column, and therefore it satisfies the property that is A into B is equal to B into A, and therefore G is commutative. So if it satisfies closure law, associativity, identity, inverse, and commutative law, all the 5 properties are proved, and therefore we say that G dot is a finite abelian group. So is it not easy? That is, cube root of unity forms an abelian group with respect to multiplication. And the next thing here is, the set of 4th root of unity forms a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. So we have to take a set where if you take the par as 4, the unity will be the answer. So let's get started to solve this one. See here, the set of 4th root of unity form a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. So here, if you take 1 par 4, so which is equal to 1. This is minus 1 par 4, which is equal to 1. I par 4, which is equal to 1. As you know that I square is minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 1 is plus 1. And here, minus 1 par 4 is again 1. So here, if you take 4 as a par, we are getting unity as an answer. And this is nothing but the 4th root of unity. if you take 4 as a par, we have to get unity as an answer. And I have chosen all the elements in a group G, and this will be the set of the fourth root of unity. So this is the set. We have to show this set is a finite abelian group with respect to the binary operation as multiplication. So here the first property, in order to show it's an abelian group, what we have to show? We have to show it satisfies closure, associativity, identity, inverse, and commutative law. The first thing here is the closure law. So for closure property, the composition table under multiplication is shown below. See here, minus 1 plus 1 minus I plus I. Here also minus 1 plus 1 minus I plus I. So here if multiplication is a binary operator, if I multiply this will be 1. So if I multiply this will be minus 1. So if I multiply this will be I, and this value is minus I. Clear? If I multiply this is minus 1. 1 into 1 is 1. 1 into minus I is minus I, and 1 into plus I is I. So if I multiply this will be I. So this is minus I. So this value is I square minus y, and this is minus 1 of minus. This is plus 1. So this value is minus 1. So this value is I, and this is I square minus 1 of minus. This value is plus 1. I square value is minus 1. So these are all the entries. So whenever I take two elements and multiply, the element, the result which I got are the elements from the set G. So this is nothing but the closure law. What is closure law? If you take one element, A belongs to G, B belongs to G, implies A dot B belongs to G, then we say that G is closed. So here if I take one element, A belongs to G, B belongs to G, and A dot B belongs to G. So each and every element are the elements from the set G. So if you observe from the table, we observe that all the entries belongs to G, and therefore we say that G is closed under multiplication. Clear? And the next property here is associative property. The fourth root of unity are again the complex numbers. We know that the complex numbers satisfies the associative law, and therefore G is associative. So closure property is proved, associative law is also shown, and therefore the next one is identity law. So we know that with respect to multiplication, 1 will be the identity element. So the identity element in G is 1, and therefore G has an identity element. And next one, coming to inverse law. So here is the composition table. So what is an identity element here? 1. So we have to go with one identity element for each and every element here. So here, and see here, if I plot the inverse element. So if I want the inverse element for each and every element, for one, if I want to find the inverse element, I have to go with the identity element, and I have to go straight to here, and therefore 1 into 1. And next one for minus 1. So minus 1 I have to go with the identity element. So here minus 1 is the inverse of minus 1. And for I, so if I go with the row of I, so I have to go with an identity element. So here minus I is the identity element for plus I. So for minus I, so here this is the minus I have to go with the identity element. So here plus I will be the inverse of this element. So for each and every element we have to plot the identity elements, and we have to check the inverse of each and every element. Therefore if you multiply, we should be getting 1 as an identity, 1 as an element. So this is 1, this is 1, this is I square is minus 1, and this is minus of minus plus 1. So this is again I square minus 1 into minus, this is plus 1. So here each element has an inverse in G, and therefore G satisfies the inverse law. And next thing is a commutative law. So here is the composition table. If you observe this one, what is the definition of a composition table? A into B is equal to B into A. And see, if you observe this one, this is 1 minus 1 I minus I. This is 1 minus 1 I minus I. The rows equals columns. See here 1 minus I. This is 1 minus I. Rows equals columns. This is minus 1 1. This is also minus 1 1. See here A into B is equal to B into A. The elements of, see here the elements of 1, 2, 3, 4 rows are same as the elements of 1, 2, 3, 4 columns respectively. Here it satisfies A into B is equal to B into A property. Therefore the multiplication is commutative in G, and therefore G is a commutative under multiplication. Therefore G dot is an abelian group. And this is how we have to show all the 5 properties. The first one is a closure property. The entries in the table are all the elements in the set G. Therefore, we say that it is closed under multiplication. Associative property is also the set of the elements are the complex numbers. We say that the complex numbers satisfies the associative law, and therefore G is associative. And therefore, for identity element, for multiplication, one will be the identity element. And see here inverse. So in order to find the inverse, here is the logic that each and every element, identity element, should be plotted, and here each and every inverse should be traced from this composition table. And therefore we say that each element of G has an inverse in G, and therefore G satisfies the inverse law. And from the composition table we can check that the rows equals columns, and here rows equals columns, and therefore we say that it satisfies the commutative property. And therefore, if all the five properties, that is closure, associativity, identity, inverse, and commutative law holds, and therefore we say that G dot is a finite abelian group. And this is how I have shown that the set of cube roots of unity and the set of fourth roots of unity forms a finite abelian group with respect to multiplication. If you understand this video, you know what to do. Please pass it on to your friends because they also need it. Thank you so much for watching and staying till the end. Please go to the playlist. So many videos are uploaded for your preparation. It will be very helpful for this channel if you promote this one, if you spread the knowledge to so many friends and whomever you like the most. Thank you so much for watching.